fifth video about the integrated development environment for RStudio, and the fourth that talks about the different windows of the integrated development environment. In this video, we talk about the Files, Plots, and Packages window. If you're interested in the other windows, you can see the previous videos. So today, we're going to talk about Files, Plots, and Packages. The first tab, Help as well, so there's actually 5 tabs here. Files, Plots, Packages, Help, and Viewer. Viewer, we're not going to talk about. Help we'll talk about, but I call it the Files, Plots, and Packages window because Files, Plots, Packages, and Help, well, that just seems too long. If we click on the Files tab, what we see is just the directory structure of our operating system and of our computer. So we can navigate through the different folders and find files if we want. This is comparable to Finder or to Windows Explorer if you're using Windows. More interesting is Plots. Plots, this is where we see all the figures and plots that we can make in the nice pictures, basically. So how would we go about doing that? Well, first of all, let's go back to our program. We have our program in our script here. We're going to get rid of all the objects. So we're going to highlight the commands and then Command Enter, and that's going to run the commands. The first command here is just to make sure that there's nothing in memory that we don't want to have there. Just clean things up. It's a habit I think people should get used to doing. And then I'm going to read in the data set, the travel data that we read in last time. So we use the read.csv command. Its argument is the file path to the data file itself called travel data sample. And then I'm going to highlight this last command, which is creating a histogram. So the comment for it is create a histogram of travel distances. Hist is the function itself, and I've got 3 different arguments here. The first is the variable that we're going to create the histogram for. So it's in the data frame tdata. So tdata $distance. It's the distance variable of the tdata data frame. Main is the main title for the histogram itself, and then we've got an X label called distance in meters. So let's run all this. We select it all, and then Command Enter, and wow, there we have it, a histogram of travel distances. In interpreting this one, we can see that around 130 or 140 people travel up to 10,000 meters a day, about 10 kilometers. And a little bit less than half of that, they travel somewhere between 10 and 20,000. So there you go, a nice histogram. If you want, you can export this histogram with the Export button. If you export, you can save it as an image or as a PDF. And if you were to do that, then it would ask you where you wanted to save it and what kind of image you wanted it to be, portrait or landscape. Anyhow, there's lots of good options, and this is excellent. This is an excellent way of exporting them so that you can use them in other documents if you want. Packages is a list of all the different packages that are available. Packages are basically series of different scripts, all that work doing a similar or one type of task. So if we're interested in doing cluster analysis, for example, we could either click on it here, or we could search for cluster in this little search window, and cluster would come up. And if we clicked in this box, we'd see that down in the console window, we've added the cluster package to R so that it's available for us in our analyses. Now, we probably won't be doing too much use. We probably won't be using too many different packages in this series of videos, but if we ever need to, or if you ever need to, this is how you install them. Finally, we have a Help tab, and the Help tab helps us to find information on the different functions that we might want to use. If we wanted, for example, to learn about how to use the histogram function, well, we could type in hist into this little search bar, press enter, and here we go. I'll have all the information we need about how to use histograms. In the help documentation, we have the title of, well, first of all, we have the name of the function itself, what it means, histograms. There's a description of it. There's a description also of all the different arguments that you can provide to it. A more detailed description of the arguments themselves, as well as details of how the function works, references, and examples of how you might want to use it. So that gives us a sense of how the files, plots, and packages, or the information that's available in the files, plots, and packages window. And it also is the last of our 5 videos introducing the integrated development environment for R, RStudio.